Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to the Monalisa Monroe Morning Show. Grab your coffee or your tea, hunty, because we have a lot to talk about. But before we get started on those red hot topics, please go to my website, www.monalisamonroe.com. We've got t-shirts, we've got mugs, we've got toast. Believe me, we've got you covered. And also, you could purchase my book, Life After the Diagnosis. If you know a survivor or you are a survivor, this is the book that you need. Well, let's go ahead and get this party started right, shall we?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to the Mona Lisa Monroe Morning Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, we've got a special show for you this morning. A special edition. If you haven't heard, we are now in the polls voting. At least here in Garden City, we are. And hopefully, you, wherever you are, will be voting as well. Early voting started October the 12th. So please, 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 if you aren't doing anything, go to your locations. If you don't know those locations, check out your city website because early voting started October the 12th. So here in Garden City, we are um, voting for quite a few things, actually. We are voting for Mayor Pro Tem, and we're voting for the district council seats. So I am actually interviewing, hopefully, we'll have Chris Fiegel on today, and he is running for 5th District. If you caught the show last week, we had a Mr. Todd Payne who was also running for 5th District. So with that all being said, we can't wait to have him on. Hopefully, he'll jump on this morning with us. I know you guys are thinking, okay, wait a minute. Today it's not Thursday. Today is Monday. Yes, 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 you are correct. The special edition show is basically we're coming on during the week to get you caught up with these district council candidates, and we want you to be well informed at the polls. That's number one. And then number two, we're actually testing the water to see which days of the week will be coming on in 2022. So, of course, we'll be coming on Thursday because that is our day that we usually come on. But we will also be coming on during the week outside of Thursday. So, we're sort of doing this, what is it called? Beta testing here to see how well everyone tunes in on a ding ding Monday morning. So I will give it another try around 10, which is our usual time, Eastern time. And then Central, it's 9. So it's really early Central right now. It's 7 o'clock. So yeah, but Eastern it is 8 o'clock, and we're gonna do a test run on these different times and the different days to see how well we do and see if we can stick somewhere. But we definitely want to take advantage of this time and just inform you that the polls are open. Early voting, once again, is October the 12th. Please go vote. Your vote counts. Your voice is your vote. So get out there, people, make it happen. Make it happen and go vote and find out where your voting stations are and grab a friend, go in a group, go take a caravan, whatever the case may be, go vote and let your voice be heard because it's a lot of things in your primary that you might not think is important because you probably don't research and don't really find out. But believe it or not, these primaries, I would say, are even more important than the presidential race. Every 4 years, you get a new president. But trust and believe, every 2 to 3, you get some new council, new district, new DEAs, new judges, all of this type of thing that affects you directly and affects you immediately. So you want to make sure that your voice is heard. You want to make sure whatever you have to say is taken um, on the record. And the record is your vote. So make sure you get some changes done. Whatever you want done, it's up to you. We're living in America. America is the home of the brave and the free. So be brave and go vote because you are free to do so. I know in a lot of areas you're thinking, well, if you look at the overall picture, the voting acts right, the voting right acts is being tainted with, and that goes to show you how important your vote is for that very reason right there. If your vote is being hindered in any way, that ought to tell you right there that it is important. Yeah. So, and also, which is new to the show, is my little earpiece here. So, hopefully, you guys can hear me okay, because this is a little new. And we're testing the studio locations as well. I mean, we're just doing a lot of testing to see, where we can stick. So, yeah. So, Thursdays, of course, is the regular day and time. Nothing changes there. And but during the week, we want to come on and we're going to find out which time is the best time. So um, we're just bear with us. We're testing things out. But until then, we do have some red hot topics this morning. We have some topics about what do you think? Yep, voting. So, first off, we want to ask the question of what is your residential development and growth plan for Garden City? So, when we do have the council candidates, I'm sorry, the district candidates on, we're going to be asking these particular questions that came from the community because they want to know. And by the way, if you are in the Garden City area, today at 6, I think it's 6 o'clock or 6:30, they will be discussing a soccer field that are, right now it's in the planning stages. We want your say so on that. So yes, it is. The meeting is today, and it is at 6:30, and it is going to be at the Redeemed Fellowship Church. For my understanding, that is going to be today at 6, maybe 6:30. So if you are interested in this soccer field being built and you agree or disagree, please make sure that you go and attend because once again, your voice is important. Your vote is important. So with that being said as well, we want to make sure that you are aware of everything. So we're looking forward to having these candidates on, and it looks like we do have one. Oh, yay! Chris is here. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I am doing great.
Good, good. I said, well, I know he's going to be up because he requested these times.
Yes.
So, Chris, I am new to you. I have never met you, and I don't know about the community, but we are like, who is this guy that's running for 5th district? So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've lived in the Coastal Empire region for about 5 years between Hilton Head, Wilmington Island, downtown Savannah, and now Garden City. I've lived specifically in Garden City for a little over a year now, and just want to see the community do better. Seeing these other areas kind of move along and progress being made, and then moving to Garden City, you just want to see us catch up or keep pace with everybody else. Living here, I really enjoy, living in the city. And I just, as I said, want to see us, keep pace.
So, and you said how long you've been here?
I've been in Garden City for a year, but in the Savannah area for 5 years.
Oh, wow. So you came in with like feet on the ground, ready to make some things happen.
I did, yes.
Oh, wow, wow. Okay, so I pulled some questions from the community, and before I go into that, Better Savannah had I guess, a debate on their show, and they stated that they invited you, but you didn't attend. Was there a particular reason?
There was. So I had a conflicting event going on that day. I actually held a community event for Garden City. We did a first annual Garden City Fall Festival. We
Oh,
had
wow.
16 vendors show up. Most of them were local businesses. We had everything from a petting zoo to Kona Ice. We had the Savannah Bananas mascot. Girl Scouts was there. Coastal Pet Rescue. And
Wow.
so I was unable to attend that event, unfortunately, because I already had something else scheduled. But I would have loved to
Oh,
otherwise.
wow. That's great. That is really great. Well, here we go. So, question number one is, what is your residential development and growth plan for Garden City?
So it would be, redeveloping these areas that are becoming dilapidated. We've got plenty of space. It's just like I was saying, falling behind the times. I know the city's put together a master plan, but it seems like they're kind of dragging their feet on that. I think that there's some great groundwork there. It just needs to be implemented. So it's taking that and it's, redeveloping these shopping plazas and bringing back grocery stores, bringing back medical facilities. To me, those are probably the top two biggest areas that we're lacking that surrounding areas have. But then, it's working with local businesses and, giving them tips and trades. I know that there's other cities that have, a specific department or a liaison when you're a new business and you open up and they'll come out and welcome you to the community, but they'll also, kind of give you the tricks and the trades of the community and try to, develop you and make you part of the community. Whereas I feel like Garden City, if you're a new business, you open up and you're just kind of thrown out there to the wolves.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That is so true. That is so true. Now, I'm also new to Garden City. I've been here for about 3 years, and I'm originally from Dallas, Texas. And when I moved here, I was thinking the same thing. It is so much opportunity to do things here in Garden City, a lot of opportunity. Um, so I guess that would go along with your economic development plan, what you just stated about businesses as well as hospitals and things like that. Now, with my understanding, there's a school that's being built off of 21. So what is your thoughts about that new school coming?
So I think that could be, the centerpiece of the community in a sense. It's I think a 21-acre development, and it's going to house, all three schools in that area. Um, and I think that, that's a great first step. Education is kind of one of the centerpieces of my campaign. Without education, you really can't do anything else. With education, though, you build, your youth build up, and they become part of the community, and it's and that builds up the businesses in the area as well. Then it attracts residents to come to Garden City. So I'm really looking forward to that school, opening up. I believe it's 2023 is what they said.
Yeah.
But all in that area, back to what I was saying about these shopping plazas, we've got 3 shopping plazas within a mile of that school area that are all 20 years behind the time. So I'd like to start there and kind of work outward.
Wow, yeah, that's true. So speaking of your education, that's one of the things that you're running on. What is your platform?
So, a lot of the school board is controlled by the county rather than the city, but I'd like to partner with them, to see what we can do as a city to help them. If it's, working with businesses and putting them in contact, I know that some cities and some districts have like an after school program where you go out and you get a job and that counts as some credits. But rather than just having people apply for any old job, I'd like to kind of focus on trades. We have lots of trades in Garden City, whether
That's
it's
true.
helping, ports, electrical workers, plumbers, that kind of thing, where it's a skilled trade where you can have the option of either going to college or going to trade school or getting on the job development. And I think that's something that the city, while not directly impacted with the schools, could help them out and put the two in contact with one another.
That sounds amazing. So that's what you're going to be focusing on. That's really, really good. So now this right here, this question here has rubbed a lot of residents in Garden City the wrong way, and it is the city hall. What are your thoughts on the city hall, or do you even know what that's all about?
So I know a bit about it. So I mean, I know it was a multi-million-dollar development project that seems to have gone nowhere. When I first moved here, I looked it up. Within my first week, I drove out there. I wanted to see what this development was all about, and it's
Right.
kind of just a strip shopping center that has a bunch of vacancies. What I was talking about, grocery stores. We have this facility that could house a grocery store, but there's nothing there. Then I guess the second part of that question is, why would you build your city hall away from the majority of your residents? So,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that unfortunately it's kind of done. The millions of dollars have been spent. So how do we make the best of it? And that's another area that definitely needs some redeveloping. There's plenty of space out there, but how do we make it successful? And so once again, it's diving in, recruiting businesses for what's already built, and then recruiting businesses for what could be built. One thing that we have, I think, ample opportunity on is, and some people, it rubs people the wrong way, like you were saying, is we have a lot of trucks that go through Garden City. And with the port, it's part of it is how do we redirect them to go proper routes so they're not cutting through residential communities, but also, since we do have these trucks, how do we capitalize on this? How do we develop, either truck stops or some new age truck stop where it's something like a food truck plaza for truckers, but something to capitalize on these revenue potentials that we're just letting go right through us and out to the highway.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. And that goes along with the encroachment is what they're saying. What do you do with all of these trucks? I mean, you can't do anything about it now, but you can manage it or try to think about how you can manage it. So
Yes.
that's very, very important. So this question here is going to be interesting later on to this evening. We're having a meeting. So what are your thoughts on the soccer field that they're thinking about building on 80, and why not the Haynes property, which is in the middle of a neighborhood in Rosenau Hill?
Yeah, and so it's one of those things that our city leadership has kind of failed with the communication aspect on things. And, I tried to look up this to find more information myself, but there's really not a lot of information. There's information about the Haynes development and the master plan, but as far as the soccer field on 80, you really can't find anything. But, I'd be open to, building a soccer complex. I think that with anything you do, you want to have more than one purpose for it. You don't want to just have a soccer complex as a singular purpose. It's used, once a week. You want something that can be used for tournaments because that brings in revenue for the city. Whether it's people traveling from out of state for hotels or restaurants or just gassing up their cars, that's all tax money back into the city. But you also want to have, whether it's trails for people to walk on or dog parks in that complex when you build it. But with any kind of capital project, I think it all comes down to community involvement. And that's something that up until this point, we've really been lacking. I will say that the city has made an effort with the gym meeting tonight to actually get the word out there with the electric signs and with the emails through the water department. And that's a good first step. But it's, kind of a little too late, in a sense of, not a little too late, I shouldn't say, but it's kind of suspicious that it happens when it's brought to their attention and then it's right before elections. So I would like to see it continue, whether, I'm elected or someone else is. I'd like to see the same process for every project.
Yeah. And that's what I'm sort of leery about, because now everyone wants to do something before elections, and previously before then nothing was being done, And the last neighborhood association meeting that they had, I think it was last week Wednesday, I think it was, and the residents were complaining about speed bumps coming from nowhere. All of a sudden you have speed bumps and stop signs. What do you say about that?
And so that goes back to any capital project should have that community input. There should be a meeting about these things. There should be a threshold if we're spending over a certain amount of people's money, because ultimately this money is coming from the residents of Garden City, the businesses of Garden City, then they should have a say in it. I understand both sides of the speed hump argument. Is it overkill? Maybe a little bit. But at the same time, is there a purpose for them? There is. But it'd be great to gather both sides together, hear both sides out, and then make a determination before, like you said, just throwing them up.
Yeah.
And there are different options. I mean, you can have speed humps, you can have greater, enforcement, you have stop signs, traffic lights. They're all options, and there are some things that you can test out without investing a ton of money into. But yeah, like I said, it just kind of got thrown up, and now it's there.
Yeah. And I think it was one resident said that it was a speed bump and then a stop sign. It was, I'm like going, are you kidding me? It made me want to get in my car and go see. But they were like, be careful because it'll tear your car up because they're so high. And I was like, good grief, what in the world?
It will. And without a mixture of, I guess, different, speed control practices, it's not going to be successful. Just walking out doing campaigning, walking down Ronald, walking down Smith, people are running the stop signs still. They've got flags on top of them, and you've got cars just going right through them. So whatever we do, it needs to be a mixture of different practices to make sure that it's actually effective.
And how about an announcement of some sort saying
Yes.
that, these areas are now speed bumps or stop signs or something like that in a community newsletter or something like that so people can be aware, because sometimes people just aren't aware. And yeah, they're running it because they were like, there's never been a stop sign here or whatever.
Exactly. 20 years of living in a community, and you're not used to it. It takes some time. And as we see, the city has the ability to communicate these things with these light up signs that are announcing this community meeting, with emailing out through the water department. They just have to choose to utilize them.
That's true. That's true. And another thing that has not been utilized, I would like to get your input on, is the council meetings being recorded. We have a community government channel. So why do you think that is an issue? And when it was brought up, it was stated that they're working on it. So yeah.
I'm not in there, so I couldn't tell you firsthand, but, I just speculate. It's like a lot of other things. It's just, people become complacent, and, that's why elections are great. It's a great opportunity to, constantly elect new blood in there. And that way people are bringing new ideas to the table, because otherwise it just kind of falls into that swamp. Everybody gets stuck into it.
Yeah, that's true. And a lot of times, it's hard to get people to run against the folks that's been in there so long. And with my understanding, like District 1 has had the same person for more than 10 years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very unfortunate because why wouldn't you want to run to make changes in your district? But I guess not everyone is campaign savvy or campaign material. I don't know. Which leads me to the final question, Chris, and thank you so much for tuning in with us this morning. But your final question would be, why should we vote for Chris? And how do you pronounce your name? Because I know you get that last name torn up.
I do. So it's Chris Figel.
Figel.
I think that, like you're saying, it's great that we have a lot of people in District 5 who are all interested in, the election, and that we have several different candidates to choose from. I've spoken with two of the other candidates. I think that everybody has great ideas that they want to see happen for Garden City. I think, though, what stands me out apart from other people is, I've got a background writing budgets. I've got a background developing capital projects. And so while, we all have great ideas, I feel like I have the kind of means to take them from ideas and kind of make them a reality. I've done it with business, and I kind of demonstrated it throughout my campaign with this community event. I took an idea and I created the idea, marketed the idea, and then actually implemented the idea. And so I take that on a, kind of grander scale for other projects throughout the community.
That sounds really good. That sounds really good because Garden City needs new ideas and fresh minds and fresh projects, and this show is just one of those many things that Garden City is needing, a voice, and that's when we started during the pandemic, and we started just, trying to find out who was working, who wasn't working, what was going on. And that's what brought the show about. And I am actually the president of the Garden City Housing Team. And we are in the community very, very often dealing with housing and things like that. So, of course, we're getting calls and we're getting the emails, about issues dealing with residential, uh, unfortunately, a drought, because people are moving here, whether they're working for Amazon or whatever the case may be, Gulfstream, and they're looking for housing. They don't want to drive all the way from Pooler, Port Wentworth, or whatever the case may be. They want to live in Garden City. And that has been our main focus for this year in 2022. We do want to partner with the city, as well as city council, to do those things. So we're looking to have someone in there that has a mindset of growth as well. So that's very reassuring to know that you are on the same page. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to keep you. I know I've grabbed you for a good 30 minutes. So thank you so much again, Chris. And let us know right now how we can find you, and let us know what's next.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me online on Facebook, Chris Figel for District 5 City Council, as well as got a website, www.chrisfigel.com. And coming up next in the campaign, we're holding a community barbecue on Halloween. I figure that all the neighbors are already out, and so as people are walking out in the community, it's a good time to stop by, have a burger, have a hot dog, and get to know myself, get to know my platforms, as well as get to know each other.
Oh, wow. And when is this again?
So this is going to be October 31st from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. We're going to be right there in front of the Garden City Senior Center and the Methodist Church.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because that's trick-or-treat time for some folks, huh?
Yeah, I figure a lot of parents, they're getting their kids ready for Halloween. They're getting them dressed up in costumes. They don't have time to sit down and cook dinner that night. So I figure it's a good time to, cook up some food and serve it to the community.
That sounds like a good strategy to me. And please make sure that you get out there, folks. Get out there, and Chris is going to be passing out burgers and hot dogs, he says. So, wow, if you haven't eaten, go by there and grab a dog and find out what Chris is all about. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, Chris. I really, really appreciate it. And if you want to announce anything or whatever, please let me know. I'll have you on the show anytime.
All right, sounds great. Thank you for having me today.
All right, thank you. Have a good morning.
All right, you too.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Chris, for tuning in. You guys check him out. He says he has a website. All of that information I will post on the information of the show. And also, Chris has a email. I will give you all of that good stuff in the comment section so you can find him. And he is running once again for 5th District in Garden City. So please, please, please vote, vote, vote. Early voting is now. It's now. Early voting. It started October the 12th. We've had a Mr. Todd Payne on last week, and we have had a Chris Figel, my bad. So yes, both of them eager to make changes in Garden City, ready to do some new things in Garden City. So check them both out. Annette, good morning. Yes, and I know you guys are wondering, what in the world? This is not Thursday. You are correct. This is Monday morning. And we had a candidate that is running for the 5th District on the show this morning. And also, we are going live in 2022 every day. So we're just trying to test out our days and our times to see what time and what day will fit with the Monalisa Monroe morning show. So yes, we'll still be on Thursday at 10 o'clock Eastern and 9 o'clock Central. But the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're testing the waters to see if we should go on all 4 days, or we should go maybe on a Tuesday and a Thursday, or so we're just testing to see how well this test run works. So we are curious to know what time to grab everybody, whether that's before you get to work, during lunch, or whatever. But that's what's going on with that. Um, this podcast, this TV show, this morning show, it is here to stay. So we're just trying to grab everybody because it's always some red hots. It's always some red hots. So red hot number one was for the candidates. What in the world would be your economic and residential growth plan for Garden City? And questioning the soccer field on 80 versus being built in a neighborhood on Haynes property. And why should we even vote for you? Why did we vote for this administration, by the way? Yeah, this administration is yeah, very disappointing. Very, very, very disappointing right now. But anyway, um, I'm at the point to where it's like, hmm, the vaccines mandatory. Oh boy, what else? What else can we talk about? But anyway, we were just um, we were just going to be on for about 30 minutes this morning because once again we're doing a test run to see how well we're going to do on a Monday and the time. So we're going to be signing off. But thank you who all tuned in to us this morning. Keep your TVs, your phones, and everything ready because we're going to be doing some test runs all week long. And of course, we're going to be on Thursday at our regular time. But each day, tune in to us because once again, we will be doing test runs to see what time is best to grab you guys. So stay tuned. Monalisa Monroe Morning Show. Looking forward to the test runs this week. Yeah. Thank you so much. You guys have a great morning. Eat some muffins and grab coffee and your tea. See you soon. Bye bye.